This is the default Medieval 2 map, but I've scrambled it. I've modded the game so that every faction starts with a random set of settlements, all across the map. Every faction still starts with their default capital, like Cordoba for the Moors, Lisbon for the Portuguese, or Leon for the Spanish. But everything else is completely random. I'll be playing as the Aztecs and observing from afar. The challenge is to see which AI faction reaches 45 regions the fastest. I've given them a ton of turns, almost 1,000, to try to reach that goal. Which faction do you think will win? Comment down below, and let's get started. Welcome to turn 1. I'm going to give a brief overview of the map as it stands at the beginning. A couple things to watch out for. Every faction starts with their starting capital. So England and Scotland, for example, and the British Isles are going to be right there. But Hungary's got 2 settlements as well, and then these 3 factions also have 1. A lot of the agents are starting in the same spot. I've also given some factions who didn't have agents, like Scotland didn't have a princess, they now have 1. So just balance it out a little bit. Every faction should have about the same starting troops, resources, agents. In France, France is now surrounded by a couple of Turkish settlements, some Scottish settlements, as well as a couple of English settlements. Actually, 3 of them, to be precise. In Spain, we got Spain, the Moors, and Portugal, as usual. And we've also got a couple of additions over here. Down in North Africa, Scotland, Milan. Venice has got these 2 spots in Timbuktu and Arguin, which could prove kind of useful if they want to consolidate their forces. They also have this, which I don't think they'll be able to use. It probably will revolt, and honestly, that's something we're going to have to kind of watch out for just a little bit. Is in these first early turns, we'll see which factions can't hold on to their far-flung provinces. I've also given Sicily, the Florida province, and the Papal States, the Caribbean province. I'm guessing those will probably not stay. These are obviously my settlements over here. We'll just be observing from afar. Egypt's got a couple in a row, so they might have a chance to consolidate their power as well, but they've got some Catholic factions on their doorstep. Byzantines down here. In Turkey, there's actually a couple Moorish settlements. We have some French settlements here. This is actually almost kind of historic. Like in the Crusades campaign, where you get a couple of French settlements, the Principality of Antioch. That's interesting. We got France over here as well. Russia, Byzantines. That one actually doesn't have anything. I've left a couple of settlements with just rebels. That's Trebizond and Durazzo, I believe. Maybe one more. We have HRE up here, 2 settlements. We have a couple of Byzantine settlements near Russia. We got the Turks are up here as well. Egypt. And then Scotland's got some power over here in the middle of the map. Hungary over here is going to have to contend with the Papal States, another Egyptian village, Sicily, and Sicily again. So this is kind of what things are looking like, and we are going to press end turn here, and we will see how it goes.
Testing the theory.
All right, yeah, we're going to get that because we're there. Okay, so what's happening? Anything interesting? Probably nothing all that exciting. I guess we're going to have some rioting settlements. We can kind of check the public order over here. Yep, that village. I'm going to make a... Well, that one's not actually, but neither is that one. Okay, so we'll see. Venice may not be able to hold on to their settlement. And we're going to keep moving to turn 2. Turn 3, excuse me. All right. Did we lose anything so far? Not quite yet. Okay, they actually upgraded that to a town. Oh, good job, Venice. You kept that under control. We may have to do a little bit of management of our own empire over here. I'm hoping we won't, because it looks like we're in the green. I cheated and gave myself quite a lot of money. So that shouldn't be a concern. And if it needs to be done, I'll do it a little bit off camera. So what's going on over here? Nothing super exciting just yet. On to turn 4. Shockingly, I'm not seeing any revolts yet. That's very impressive. Let's see if anyone's at war with each other. Not yet. It looks like Milan was not able to maintain control of Jerusalem, so there's our first revolted settlement. France appears to be holding Antioch for now. And Baghdad. Wow, good for them. Yeah, there's not a lot of rioting going on, surprisingly. Okay. On to turn 5. The Moors are besieging Trebizond. They might be expanding there. On to turn 6. Oh, I saw something change. Looks like we have... Okay, the Moors have expanded. Turn 7. Looks like the Byzantines have captured Durazzo, so good for them. On to turn 8. Didn't see anything on the map. Turn 9. 2 revolutions that I saw. We had Baghdad. France lost control of Baghdad. And Venice. Oh my goodness. So they had... I believe that was their... The Venetian... Yeah, because it's a Northern European model. So they revolted there. But not here. So we get the Moors starting to consolidate power over here in Turkey. To turn 10. Turn 11. We have our first fighting going on. The Moors have landed on the island of Nicosia with a force here to try and take down this HRE castle. We'll see if they can take that on next turn. On to turn 12. Okay, they have not attacked. Or maybe they have and they failed. It looks like maybe the banners are a little farther down. We have war declared between Venice and the Byzantines. And so they got through there. I don't know if they use a spy, because if they weren't at war, somehow they got into Corinth. Maybe maybe the Byzantines left it open. That's crazy. Okay, the Moors have landed some more troops here. Let's see who's at war with each other. Denmark and Hungary, Turks and Byzantines. There's an alliance. We don't care about that. Denmark and Hungary. Where do we think that is? Alright, so the Turks are sieging Nicaea here. That's the Turks and Byzantines at war. I can't find exactly what's going on with the Hungarians and the Danish, but I'm pretty sure it was maybe a naval battle right here. There's also a Danish army within reach of York, so it's possible there's a field battle over here. We'll keep an eye on it. On to turn 14. Alright, so looks like we got a Turkish conquest of Nicaea. The Moors are still held off at Nicosia here. On to turn 15. Still no dice for the Moors. Lots of alliances. A few too many alliances for my taste. Turn 16, we got the Russians besieging Smolensk, trying to take back their rightful territory. And we've also got a sneaky Turkish fort about to strike Novgorod. Alright, here it is. Hungary is going for the kill shot in Edinburgh. The Russians were repelled at Smolensk, and the Moors are still besieging Nicosia. And the Moors have captured Nicosia. And the Hungarians were thrown back at Edinburgh. That's crazy. They had a lot more people. Looks like this guy didn't even help. The Holy Roman Empire and Portugal. Turn 21, HRE is going after Toulouse. The Moors have completely consolidated this part of the map. They got a line stretching from Tbilisi to Nicosia. And HRE conquers. Turn 29, HRE has captured Breslau from the papacy. Turn 30, we got Poland here attacking Bordeaux. Turn 31, Portugal with 2 big pickups. So they get Toulouse back. They also conquered Budapest from the Hungarians. That's the first capital of the game that's fallen. Looks like Hungary's new capital is Zaragoza. Skipping ahead to turn 43, Scottish have actually reclaimed Scotland from Hungary. We just still with a 1 outpost here in York. Turn 51, and Spain has exterminated Lisbon. which means that another capital city has fallen. We got France attacking Cordoba, and we got the Moors who have taken over Antioch from France. And they won! Oh, Cordoba gets exterminated by the French. Oh man, that's brutal. So the Moors lose their capital, but that's okay because they're kind of carving themselves out an empire over here. Yeah, Caesarea is the new capital for the Moors. Alright, turn 57, we got a jihad called in Constantinople. That could be bad for the Byzantines, although it does look like they're pretty well fortified. It'd be very tricky for a jihad to take on 2 full stacks. We'll see if that goes anywhere. What's really interesting is that all of the regions by this point have started to take on the religions of the faction that owns them. So like Wales is 94% Islam, and then these cities over here in America are like majority Catholic, which is interesting. We'll see if they can continue to keep holding them. I really didn't expect the Catholic factions to be able to keep the American provinces this long. And we got a crusade called in response the very next turn on Antioch, which makes sense. Alright, Hungary has tried like 3, maybe 4 times to take Aleppo, but now they've really got a pretty big army. I think they can get it this time. There they go. Good for them. Oh. The first jihad army shows up at Constantinople. I don't know, man. Odds are against you. And a second jihad army shows up to back him up. Are they allied? Can they help? No, they're not. I don't think that means he can reinforce. Also, it looks like France has taken Oslo, consolidating their Scandinavian presence. Yeah, the jihad was pushed back. Looks like Spain has conquered Bern from the English. The jihad armies are back, and I know that Egypt is allied with the Moors, so maybe if they can get there in time and reinforce, we'll see. I still don't think it's going to work. Papal states are also at war with Egypt up here. I don't think they're going to get that, though. Well, let's see. Nope, they didn't do it. Hungary is moving in on Toledo. Can they take it down? They didn't, but they're back and they're sieging it again. The Mongols are invading over here. That could be tough because I felt like the Moors were kind of in the best position so far. The crusade is successful, and Portugal takes it. Okay, that's interesting. Hungary take 2. They got it. All right, so this is interesting. Is Iconium just rebelled from the Turks, which I think makes Nicaea. No, who? Naples? Not Naples. Reims, the Turkish capital. That's exciting. Alright, looks like the jihad could be successful here. We got a full stack of Moors, and the Byzantines have been thinned out. They got it. Look at that. Exterminated Constantinople. So the Byzantines have been completely wiped out of their usual spot. They lost Razo, Corinth, Nicaea, and Constantinople. But they've still got some presence elsewhere. They've got some stuff up in Russia. They've got Yerevan, although I don't think they'll get to keep that between the Mongols and the Moors. And they have Jeddah, which could take a while for them to figure out how to get there. Hungarians are on the move again, trying to wipe French out of Iberia. But let's see if the Hungarians can take Cordoba. Nope. But the English did get Nottingham. So the Turks are pushed out of the British Isles. And it looks like the Mongols have struck. They're going for Antioch. Now, this is interesting because I would have put, before they arrived, the Moors and the Hungarians as in the strongest positions. But now all bets are kind of off. And both of them could be in for a world of trouble, depending on how the Mongols expand. The Russians have taken Baghdad. Mongols, looks like, were thrown back from their first attack here, but I bet they'll succeed this time. Not quite, but that's gonna fall. There's just a question of when. It fell. Turn to 82. A new homeland. The Turks appear to be struggling with public order as Nicaea is also revolted. meaning that Reims being their capital being so far this way might be making it tricky for the. But I wouldn't have figured that these ones would have rebelled. That's crazy. All right, Mongols and Moors are at war. Yep. Good luck, Moors. The Moors actually managed to push back the Mongols against all odds. The Mongol horde is kind of thinned out, but they did just receive their first round of reinforcements. England is going for Jerusalem. Turn 94 and Sicily has made their first big move. They exterminated Constantinople, so that poor city has been going through it. But the Moors have been pushed back suddenly, and now they're really just in the Mongol neighborhood here. But they've done all right so far. They've thrown them back from Adana twice, or maybe 3 times. Hungarians take Damascus from the Scottish. Turn 101, another jihad has been called on Iconium. Okay, so the Moors really goofed up, I think, by calling that jihad on Iconium, because now they just let the Mongols come through with one of their big stacks. I think they could have gotten it by themselves. Okay, we're in the Gunpowder Age. Also, the Mongols got Iconium. Hopefully this might speed up some of the faction growth. Hungary is playing with fire, keeping this unguarded with the Mongols right over there. We got a crusade called an Antioch. Take back to the Mongols. Hungary let Edessa rebel. That's interesting. The Moors are attacking Antioch, but there's still the crusade coming, so look out. The Hungarians took Edessa back with their crusading force. Hungary's going for it. Nope, they didn't quite get it. They got a big... Mongols have a big stack right here, which is going to be tricky to get past. Venice has taken Vienna from Portugal, which makes Budapest Portugal's new capital. France has taken over Aarhus from the Danish, and their capital has moved to... Oh gosh, Iasi. Okay, that's tricky. And it looks like Alexandria also rebelled from them, so that's not good. Denmark's kind of on the back foot. France has reversed the war in Iberia. They've taken Toledo. And the crusade continues for Antioch, and no one's been successful yet. So in a shocking twist, it actually looks like Milan will make it there first. And I think they should be able to get it. They did. Scotland has consolidated their European holdings. They've now got Marseille, Dijon, Metz, Nuremberg, and Prague. So they could perform well here. Scotland typically does pretty well late game, as does Hungary. It all has to do, I think, with like the unit performance in auto-resolve, and I think Scotland and Hungary's late game troops just tend to do pretty well. England has managed to take Jerusalem. England is starting to reclaim their land. They've taken Carnarvon from the Egyptians. Egypt is starting to form an empire. They just took Alexandria. Looks like Jeddah has fallen to the Russians, so they've consolidated a Middle Eastern empire, ironically. The Byzantines, I think, might be the weakest faction. They've got just Moscow and Smolensk left, I believe. And if the rebels are smart, they'll just walk that guy in there. I don't think they will, though. At least looks like they didn't on this end turn. They didn't, and it's still there. They still didn't recruit. Oh my gosh. I bet they're probably broke. That's my guess. Wow. Someone's just got to walk in there. That's crazy. Portugal has expanded northward to Nicaea. Sicily seems to be crumbling on a few fronts. They did this Florida town did rebel from them. But Venice and the Papal States are still holding on. The Timuras have invaded up at the north. Okay, so this could be interesting. I bet you the Byzantines' days are numbered. This is still open. They're definitely completely broke. Let's look at the financial status. All factions, financial. My goodness, is that France? No, that's me. Heh, heh. Okay. Byzantines appear to be, well, I'm kind of off the scale, unfortunately. Timurids have chosen a target, and they didn't take very long at all. So they're surrounding Bulgar. And they did the Timurid thing, where they sacked it and then let it rebel. So that's kind of wild of them. It looks like Milan has taken York, which used to be Hungarian, from the sea, from Antwerp. England couldn't hold Jerusalem. No one can. Not just you. Another crusade on Antioch. But I'm guessing Milan must be excommunicated. Yep, would seem so. And Hungary has lost its last settlement in the west, which is kind of crazy because they were, I thought, at one point tipped to take over Iberia, but they've lost that. They've also lost York. They lost their capital. So really all they've got left is this. They also have Iraklion, but I'm sure someone will take that by sea at some point here. Also, Scotland has continued its conquests, adding Genoa. England captured Jerusalem back. Looks like Venice has exterminated Budapest, so they've got themselves a nice little empire here as well. Do you guys see what I see? The Venetians attacking both these Scottish towns? No, not that. Venice is completely undefended. You guys think the Spanish will be smart enough to go in? Nope. Got in a boat and sailed away. The Timurids are at Sarkel. The Egyptians are attacking Smolensk. And Sarkel has fallen, and the Timurids have done the Timurid thing. Sacked and on their way. Poland, who's done basically nothing all game, has expanded from Pamplona to Zaragoza. The English have arrived with their crusading army to Antioch. And they got it. Can they hold the entire Holy Lands? We shall see. Jihad called on Constantinople. The Timurids are at Kiev. Scottish have taken Durazzo. Man, if they can consolidate this, they'll be in a really good position. Alright, looks like they have actually settled in Kiev. So we got a new homeland for the Timurids. So this just reverted back to the Spanish. I'm guessing that was a civil revolt. If you don't know what that is, it's a situation where a city can revolt back to the country or the faction whose culture it most shares, which is interesting. I thought it would have needed to have been, yeah, there's no way that they just like had a full stack sitting there and captured it with gunpowder or anything. So that's crazy. There you go. Tough for the Timurids. And the Mongols, surprise, surprise, have taken Constantinople in the Jihad. The Scottish have taken Corinth from the Venetians, so they've got a real point of power over here. The Moors have finally taken Iconium from the Mongols. Oddly enough, Kiev has revolted back to the rebels, so this is just a mess of a province. Timurids take back Kiev. We'll see how long this lasts this time. Jerusalem rebelled again. Sicily is back at Constantinople. And they got it. The Mongols are in flight. That's all that's left of the Mongols. And just like that, Jihad called in Constantinople. Timurids are about to make life real hard for the Danish. Sicily's advanced a little bit on Scotland, taking Durazzo. France has taken Hamburg. Antioch has rebelled from Milan. And that was quick. Timurids are already in on Constantinople. England has taken York, so they've got all of England plus Bruges under their control. Timurids are exploding. They just took Starkel, Ryazan, and Vilnius all on one turn. So they're up to like 5 regions. Wow. France took Stettin. The Mongols are back in Antioch. Okay, so I actually took the liberty of moving 3 of the Timurid's top armies over to America with console cheats. And that's just because I didn't want this to become super unbalanced really fast. I think it's their elephant artillery that's allowing them to assault settlements super fast, and they're still to get another wave of reinforcements. So I just want to make sure this stays a little bit balanced, and it would kind of not be all that fun if the Timurids ended up winning. So we did that. Hopefully that works out. Also, I just kind of wanted to see the Timurids taking over Florida. Also, it looks like Scotland has taken over Dublin, so it's the classic England versus Scotland battle over here. Looks like the Portuguese have exterminated Marseille from the Scottish. Iconium taken back over by the Mongols. France looks like they lost Rhodes to a revolt. Scotland has exterminated Vienna from the Venetians. The English are continuing to expand from Jerusalem, which is interesting. You don't usually see the AI expanding from a crusade state all that often. Moscow has rebelled from the Byzantines, so they're left with just Smolensk, which is still undefended. This is their last settlement. This could be our first faction to bite the dust. Other factions that are kind of low. Hungary's still got this kind of precarious empire over here, but they're stable for the moment. Poland's got Krakow, and then they've also got Dongola, and a couple settlements over here. The Turks have got Naples, Reims, Angers, and Riga. Denmark, I think, just has these 4. Oh, and they also have a JCO. Milan, I think, is down to just Marrakesh, Antwerp, and Milan. But yeah, the Byzantines are definitely the weakest. Another crusade called on Antioch. Never mind, they got it back. The Timurids are taking Kaffa as well. Portugal has taken Rhodes. Papal states have arrived outside Constantinople with a massive stack. France let Cordoba revolt. Hungary has pushed north and taken Yerevan. But they still have been able to get Antioch. Crusade's still going, but they're struggling. Milan has also lost to Marrakesh, so they're down to just Milan and Antwerp. France has recaptured Rhodes. That's pretty interesting, especially because France, I'm pretty sure, doesn't, in the settings of the game, there's a setting that says prefers naval invasions, and I don't think France is one of those factions, so it's pretty crazy. I guess they must have had an army there still, and they managed to recapture it, but still, good for them. Moors get Iconium back. Jihad called on Jerusalem this time. Egypt's taking back Gaza. Papal states have taken Milan and exterminated it. Wow. So that leaves Antwerp as Milan's final settlement. And the Moors have taken back Antioch. So the Mongols, that should be basically it for them, right? No, they got a couple more stacks over by Edessa. But I don't think they're going to capture anything else. That looks pretty weak. Okay, the Moors took Jerusalem. Okay, so I think we just had another civil revolt. Bucharest started Egyptian, I believe. And looks like it maybe kicked out the Sicilian family. Otherwise, I don't know how the Egyptians could have gotten here. Also, interestingly, it looks like HRE is down to just one settlement, Frankfurt. They had a couple settlements up here. They had Dublin, and now they're down. So we got HRE and Milan both with one settlement left. Byzantines with 2. Timurids take Tbilisi. Milan is on elimination watch. France is sieging Antwerp. Oh, they lost. And Milan's gone. So we got a faction destroyed. That's the first one. Farewell, Milan. Also, Breslau rebelled. Looks like Sicily is taking Corinth. Not sure how recent that was. The Moors took Heracleum from the Hungarians. HRE is on elimination watch. The Scots are moving in for the kill. Okay, it's been about 3 turns and they still haven't assaulted yet. We'll see if they do it this time. Nope. Oh, Scotland did get Breslau. This time they've got just 1 turn left until surrender. Also, Timurids are still on the move. That should be it. There they go. HRE down. Failed crusade on Antioch. Spain has lost Lisbon temporarily, I'm assuming. France has taken Antwerp. Hungary has exterminated Jerusalem. Could this be the moment that Smolensk falls? It is! The Timurids takes his area too. I moved a couple more Timurid armies over here. Just don't want them to be dominating. Well, that was fast. I think it was probably a revolt. And the Mongols appear to have lost their last family member. So that's our 3rd faction biting the dust. Venice has lost their capital to the Papal States, which means Venice just has Budapest, which is their new capital. Timbuktu, yeah, good luck having someone take that. And Fortaleza, so yeah, good luck. Sicily has broken through and taken Vienna from Scotland. New crusade on Toulouse. Oh, that's interesting. Hungary has taken Mosul from Russia. Spain finally takes Marrakesh. Scotland takes Durazzo. And Scotland takes Vienna back. Sicily takes back Durazzo from Scotland. And it looks like Hungary will be victorious in the crusade. Looks like Naples has revolted from Turkish control and the English are sieging it. Timbuktu is also revolted from the Venetians. Uno reverse. The Byzantines have taken Novgorod, which means the Russians are left with just whoa! Turkey just imploded. Yep. There they go. Okay. So that is our, what, 4th faction, if you count the Mongols. That's down. That's crazy. So that opens up all kinds of new room for the Byzantines to expand, France to expand, Poland or England to expand. Also, Caribbean rebelled, as did Fortaleza. So that means Venice is now vulnerable. They've just got Innsbruck and Budapest. France takes Reims. Poland takes Angers. A jihad has been called on Jerusalem. Not looking so good for the Hungarians. And Jerusalem falls. Egypt has consolidated a nice little empire here. But Poland still has Dongola. England's finally taken Naples, but they appear to have lost Bruges to the French. The Russians have actually pushed out and taken Damascus. Spain gets Innsbruck. The Timurids have exterminated Riga. The Moors have finally started to push back. And Venice has been eliminated. And whoa! And Denmark just imploded. So that's wild. 2 factions down in 1 turn. That clears a lot away. So at this point, I am favoring, personally, Scotland Or maybe France, but I think Scotland is probably the top pick because they could easily win this war with England and consolidate the British Isles. They've got a lot of power here in the German area. They've got a castle down here. I mean, if they could wipe out this little Spanish force here in the Alps, they would be in a really good shape. Timurids have a lot of land, but they've started to burn through the forces, and I obviously nerfed them a little bit. Hungary is holding pretty strong. Moors are still doing okay, but they've kind of been pinned in. Egypt's a sleeping giant potentially, and Spain's doing all right. And I wouldn't count out Poland here. They've been making a lot of gains. Papal states are expanding as well, but I would not really want to be Russia right now. They just lost Damascus again. Byzantine's still not great. England's had their moment, but they've kind of faded a little bit. And, yeah, Sicily's just kind of all over the place. Crusade called on Toulouse. Oh, boy. And Poland's not in favor, I guess. And at the same time, a jihad on Baghdad. Portugal's got Constantinople. Looks like Hungary finally got Tbilisi back. Oh, France got Rennes. Moors completed the jihad, but Hungary is already back on it. England's still got Acre. The Byzantines have expanded back to Bulgar. Scotland expands up to Sofia, connecting their empire through here. Okay, so the Pope just took Toulouse while not on crusade. That's exciting. England takes Edinburgh from Scotland. Russia burns Damascus, and the Moors take Aleppo. France takes Valencia from the Papal States. Papal States take Bordeaux from the Polish. Byzantines have taken Ryazan from the Timurids. Papal States also got Zaragoza from the Polish, so they've made a pretty big play to the west here in southern France. Russia seems to have finally turned the tide on Hungary, and they've exterminated Baghdad. Hungary is down to just 4 settlements. Hungary strikes back and exterminates Antioch. France gets Angers. They've got a pretty good foothold to reclaim all of France. And just when the Byzantines have their back turned, England takes Novgorod. It's a shame the Byzantines were starting to come from behind a little bit. Scotland has turned on France. They've taken Reims. Looks like Portugal was reconciled, so the crusade is over. Sicily is pushed north a little bit, taking Thessalonica from Scotland. Egypt has pushed England out of the Holy Lands. France takes Frankfurt, but Scotland's right back after them. France takes Frankfurt, and England takes Inverness. So, the entire British Isles belong to England. The Moors reconquer Antioch. France takes back Reims. A jihad on Constantinople. This city can't catch a break. Papal States take Pamplona, kicking Poland back to Poland and Dongola. Zagreb back to Scotland. Edessa falls to the Russians. England has taken Smolensk. Hungary became a vassal of Russia. Spain took Granada from Sicily. Long time coming.
He's back.
Where do you think you're going, Timurids? The Russians take Antioch by the skin of their teeth, and they're about to lose it right back. So, Novgorod just revolted back to the Russians. That's pretty crazy. The Moors take Damascus from the Russians. The Timurids are back at it at Caesarea. Spain takes Vienna. Scotland is starting to crumble from the pressure on all sides. I don't know how, but they did it. England got Novgorod back with that tiny little army. Russia takes Antioch and Aleppo, but loses Damascus. The crusade is called on Tunis. This is interesting. This has not changed hands yet this game. This started with the Egyptians, I believe. France has taken Prague, and Spain is attacking Nuremberg, so the Scottish Empire continues to crack. Also, Spain took Algiers, so Scotland really has tanked. I mean, if we look at their territorial rankings, they were at, I think, 14, and now they're down to 6. If that, I think 5. 6. Yeah, 6. Spain has taken Nuremberg, for the record. Moors got Antioch back. And Spain successfully takes Tunis on the crusade. France is on the warpath. They're trying to take over these Polish cities. Didn't get Halych, but they did get Krakow. Leaves Dongola as the only Polish settlement remaining. Looks like they've got at least 2 family members because they have a faction heir right here. So I'm guessing their faction leader's probably in there. Or is this him? No, that's not him. So they're 3 faction members at least. So they shouldn't implode anytime soon. Spain is also taking Timbuktu. So they have emerged as a bit of a powerhouse as well. France takes Breslau. France loses Rhodes to a rebellion. Papacy takes Ayassi from Egypt. The Russians take Damascus. Spain expands even further, taking Tripoli, pushing Egypt back to its natural regions, but Poland is on the offensive, sieging Cairo. Papal States take Valencia, and they're sieging Toledo. Poland is pushed back, somehow. Russia takes Antioch, continuing to squeeze the Moors out of the Middle East. The Moors are down to just 3 regions right here. Actually, 4 at Iraklion. England makes their first strike on the mainland, taking Bruges. Timurids have lost control of Riga. It's rebelled. I don't think Poland's got much longer to live. Crusade called on Vilnius. Oh, time to die, Timurids. Papal States are pushing up into France, have taken Angers. Portugal, forgot about them, right? Took Rhodes. Russia's taken Adana, and they're pushing on Iconium. Spain has reached Vilnius with their crusading armies, and the Byzantines are going for Novgorod again. Oh, they got it. Spain is pushed back somehow from Vilnius, and the Papal States have taken Rennes and Paris, and they're attacking Reims. Wow. Out of control. They got it. Poland has fallen. One more faction down. Sicily takes Budapest. Spain successfully takes Vilnius. The Russians are taking Caesarea. The Moors are down to just 2 settlements. Man, who would have thought Russia coming from Jeddah? They were down to just the 1 settlement. And the Papal States taking Toledo. Okay, let's take a look at where things are on turn 500. So the Pope has been gaining a lot of ground the last couple of turns. The Papal States has pushed France completely out of their holdings over here, and they've pushed Poland out of everything they had here. So they are really on a roll. Taking a look at the territorial rankings, we have France was in the lead, but they have since entered a steep decline. Spain is on the way up. They're at 15 regions, I believe. Scotland has tanked. They're down now to just 4. Hungary still surviving, floating on the bottom. The Moors dropping off the face of the planet. Russia on the way up. They're in the top couple of factions currently. Timurids, they're down. They're down to just 3 regions. England doing all right. They're moving up. But they did lose Novgorod, so it's going to be a little bit harder for them to really make gains over here. Poland, gone. Papal States at the top of the charts. I believe that's 18 regions right there. Byzantines, they're hanging in there. Egypt, falling down a little bit. They're kind of consolidated now. Sicily, hanging in the middle. They've just sort of been there all game, and they're doing okay. Who do we think's got the best position? Right now, I'm liking the Pope. Obviously, they've got a little bit of a benefit with the way that the war mechanics work. Like, they'll be able to take a lot of ground, and then when the faction gets reconciled, they're going to get to be able to hold it pretty well. So I think that the Papal States are probably in the best position right now, but we'll keep going. England gets Antwerp and Caen in the same turn. Brutal 1-2 punch against the French. And they've got themselves a beachhead here. Spain takes Riga. just want to see someone fight back against the Papal States. England? Spain? You doing anything? France is back. They've got Metz. And the Papal States took it. Bunch of bullies. And England takes Novgorod back. Spain takes both of these islands. The Moors take Rhodes. Spain took Zagreb from Sicily. Papal States took Frankfurt. Papal States took Frankfurt from France. Genoa looks like it revolted from the Scottish. Now the Papal States are going in for it. Papal States just won't leave poor France alone. They got Thorn. Russians take Acre. Antioch is revolted. Byzantines have retaken Novgorod. Spanish are attacking Genoa. Papal States have gotten Breslau. English and the Papal States are on the warpath. Poor France, man. Spain has Genoa. I'm just waiting for the Spain-Papal States showdown at this point. Hamburg has fallen to England. Papal States have exterminated Krakow, and they got 2 more under siege. The Moors got Antioch back, and Egypt has taken Acre from Russia. England gets Stettin, and the Papal States get Prague. So just like that, France is down to 2 regions. Wow. Wow. 18-2. Russia reclaims Acre. Let's go! Although honestly, this could end pretty poorly for Spain unless they really get moving pretty fast. Take some of these provinces here. Otherwise, the Papal States are just going to be too big. Oof. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think they hurt me. Okay, they got Staufen. They've taken Lyon as well. And they got Vilnius. They also lost Zagreb too. I think this might end poorly for Spain. England is pushing into Scandinavia. Got Genoa. Dijon just rebelled from Scotland. I wonder who'll pick it up. France is just happy it's not them anymore. Nuremberg and Lisbon. And they took Kiev from the Byzantines. England took Ryazan. England takes Stockholm. France is down to just Oslo, Innsbruck, and Cordoba. The Papal States are up to 36 regions. 9 more to go. England's not doing too shabby either. They're at about 20. Poor France. Now they know how Scotland felt. Marrakesh has rebelled. England has conquered Bulgar, so that leaves the Byzantines with just Moscow, which is under siege. Jihad on Jerusalem because the Russians have conquered it.
Hello there.
Byzantines have fallen. Papal States get Vienna and Marrakesh, putting them at 39, I believe. England's also on their way up. They've got, I think, 23. Portugal makes an acquisition of Trebizond, and the Papal States are going for the kill shot on the Timurids. Nope. Crusade called on Tunis. Oh, poor Spain. 40. Now 5 away. They did it! I really thought the Papal States were going to get that one. Comeback for Scotland?
Huh?
I think this means Egypt became Russia's vassal. Then Russia and Egypt went to war. Take 2 on the kill shot. They got him. Down go the Timurids. Uh-oh. Bum, bum, bum. Actually, psych. Timurids are still over here. Maybe now they'll actually take it. We'll see. Oh! Oh! Oh, they sacked it and left. I think all these crusading armies are getting bottlenecked by this little rebel army. Russia's taking Gaza. Failed jihad in Jerusalem. And Oslo has fallen. Oh, the Timurids had a... Interesting. They still had an army over here? That's crazy. There you go. And the Moors... Oh, they must have imploded. Must have lost all their family members. Dropping like flies. Antioch, Nicosia, and Heracleon are up for grabs. Oh, no, this is what it is. Portugal must have killed their last family member at Rhodes. Papal rampage never stops. 2 more down. 43 for the Pope. Egypt retakes Gaza. And the Papal States pick up Smolensk, which puts them 1 region away. Alright, place your bets now on what the 45th region for the Papal States will be. They're here at Timbuktu. Could this be their last play? They did it. Exterminated Timbuktu. The Papal States are victorious. The great empire spanning from Timbuktu to Sarkel. In 611 turns, the Papal States have won. So if we get 500 likes on this video, I will do a part 2 where I will use the Aztecs to reconquer the world. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and subscribe to my channel. That helps me out a lot. Let me know what type of Medieval 2 content you'd like to see in the future. This entire video was actually based on a after action report from Total War Center forums way back in the day by a guy named Notre Dame Fan. And I loved it at the time, so I made my own mod for it. And if you guys would like to download it and try it out for yourself, the link to download will be in the description below. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.